We're signing an executive order.
Tonight, under a mountain of pressure, a stunning reversal by the president with the stroke of a pen after saying for days only Congress could do it.
It's about keeping families together while at the same time being sure that we have a very powerful, very strong border.
The executive order keeps parents and children together while the adults await immigration hearings and instructs the military to build new facilities to house those families. The plan doesn't end the president's zero tolerance policy, which requires everyone who crosses the border illegally to face prosecution.
Do you think you're backing down? Critics?
No, the border is just as tough. But we do want to keep families together.
But acknowledging the dilemma.
If you're really, really pathetically weak, the country's going to be overrun with millions of people. And if you're strong, then you don't have any heart. That's a tough dilemma.
Still, it is an undeniable shift after the president and his top officials argued for days.
Now, wait, you can't do it through an executive order.
Congress and the courts created this problem, and Congress alone can fix it.
The president was under fire politically and personally.
Those images affect everybody.
With his daughter Ivanka Trump and the first lady expressing concerns over the images of children in private conversations. Sources familiar with the matter tell NBC News.
Ivanka feels very strongly. My wife feels very strongly about it. I feel very strongly about it. I think anybody with a heart would feel very strongly about it. We don't like to see families separated.
The personal appeals capping days of political turmoil. On Sunday, images surfaced of kids in cage-like structures. By Monday, the world heard the horrifying sounds. Children crying, just separated from their families. Tuesday, the president tweeting a warning against an infestation of illegal immigrants.
When you prosecute the parents for coming in illegally, which should happen, you have to take the children away.
The bipartisan calls grew louder on Capitol Hill.
Well, the White House could change it in 5 minutes, and they should.
We know the depths this administration will go to now to push their hateful agenda.
Allies slammed the president.
The pictures of children being held in what appear to be cages are deeply disturbing. This is wrong.
The Pope labeling it immoral. Adding fuel to the fire, overnight protesters heckled the Department of Homeland Security Secretary, the public face of the zero tolerance policy, while she dined at a Mexican restaurant.
Shame! Shame! Shame!
Now, the hard part. Congress still wrestling with a long-term solution on immigration and what to do with all those children. And despite this executive order, the immigration crisis is, of course, not over, and it is up to Congress to fix the root of the problems, something that's plagued both parties for decades. Tomorrow, the House will likely take up 2 bills that address family separations and also include funding for the president's key priority, a border wall. But both bills face big hurdles.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.